Life Easy Journey presents 12 tips to help you to win any argument when two persons have opposite ideas. An argument occurs. To win an argument, you must first realize that you are not engaged in a power struggle or a brawl, but rather a disagreement over different points of view on a topic. Involvement in a tense dispute or disagreement, on the other hand, might result in tension, rage, sadness, anxiety, and a general sense of unease. Since that isn't what you want, have a look at these 12 strategies for effortlessly winning a dispute without getting tense or insulting someone. Number 1. Don't make it personal. If you make an argument personal, you lose all chance of winning, unless you use force, manipulation, or a direct attack on the other person's integrity. As a result, the first piece of advice for winning an argument is to avoid personalizing it. When you argue, bear in mind that you're exposing your point of view, which is in direct opposition to the other person's. Rather than attacking, the key is to make your point understood. Number 2. Stick to the subject. It's quite common to attempt to change the subject to something else when someone begins to lose an argument, hoping that you don't really see the weakness. Don't fall for it if this happens. Return immediately to the original topic. Don't give time to other issues to rise until the one that started the debate first has been resolved. Number 3. Don't use weak arguments. To argue a point, you'll need some arguments, which can be solid, strong, or weak. Use your strongest arguments first because they are an excellent way to silence your opponent and increase your chances of winning a debate. In the worst-case scenario, you'll always have fewer strong arguments to back up the weak ones, rather than the other way around. Number 4. Remain calm. The difference between an argument and a fight is thin, and it has to do with the calmness or attitude of the disputants. When people can't keep their cool, their arguing usually ends in a fight, verbal and physical. Number 5. Use evidence. If you want to win an argument, imagine yourself as a defense attorney in the middle of a trial, using evidence to defend your points of view and thus save your client. Because of the evidence, many people win, or lose, real-life judgments without having to fight. If they can do it, you should be able to as well. Number 6. Ask questions. When your opponent states what they believe to be a fact, dig deeper with questions designed to expose its flaws. Use "tell me more" questions like, "Can you give me an example?" These questions almost always lead to the truth, and if your opponent is honest, they will concede. Number 7. Be silent. Another great way to win arguments is to argue absolutely nothing. Let your opponent speak all after making a strong argument, especially if the facts against you are missing. They will probably just fumble around and give you some additional ways of confronting them. This may not lead to defeat, but this can lead him away from the debate. A clear victory for you. Number 8. Appeal to values. You can also use certain emotional values to persuade the other party to reconsider his position. For example, in a debate where one participant says that thieves must be killed, human values could be invoked by saying something like, "Do you truly believe we have the right to decide who lives and who dies in this world?" If the person truly understands the message, they may be willing to take a step back and let you argue your case. Number 9. Pay attention and listen. This is one of the most effective strategies for easily winning an argument. Simply pay attention to the other side. Consider yourself a doctor who, after listening to the patient's symptoms and diagnosing the problem, analyzes the situation and recommends the best treatment. Allowing the other side to speak, and paying attention, allows you to assess its strengths and weaknesses before attacking with your best weapons. So, remember to stay calm and use that calm to gather valuable information that will aid you in winning an argument. Number 10. Value each other's opinions. You don't always have 100% of the reason for what you argue in a discussion. There are valid points and invalid points in every argument. Accept when your opponent is correct, acknowledge them, and avoid attacking them on a point-by-point basis. This will make you appear more approachable and open, making the other party in the conversation feel less threatened. Number 11. Study your opponent. When you argue with someone, it's usually someone you know or have a close relationship with, though this isn't always the case. Remember to research your opponent's strengths, weaknesses, and mentality, among other things. The more you know about your opponent, the more likely you are to win an argument because you will be able to control him and bring him to your side. Number 12. Recognize when it's time to give up. You should be able to win any argument if you have all the facts to back you up, assuming your opponent is willing to be truthful. There will be occasions, however, when your opponent gains the upper hand and corners you. When this happens, simply accept the victory and remain gracious in defeat. Nothing is more irritating than someone who argues for the sake of arguing and refuses to give in. Debating is a part of life, let's face it. From negotiating difficult business deals to resolving heated emotional conflicts at home, there's a lot to learn. Thankfully, you now have some effective strategies to help you gain the upper hand and win any argument. We recommend debating with the class and prioritizing your relationship with your opponent. Aside from that, you must do whatever it takes, and you cannot argue with that. Can you do it? If you have any additional suggestions or ideas, please leave them in the comments section. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, and be sure to press the notification bell to stay up to date.